Controversy is a part of every sport, and boxing is no exception.
I told him I won.
So I gave Roach 1, 4, and then 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. Roach really only got to cooking once he felt the power in 6 and 7 and went, wait, I could take this. And then he took over, he kind of took over the fight after that moment.
Cherry picking going wrong.
Damn.
Cherry picking going, and this is no disrespect to Lamont Roach.
But just like flipping a coin and seeing both sides, every controversy brings different perspectives, ones that never seem to agree on what the real truth is.
Some people had a Tank, some people had a draw, some people had a Lamont. Do you think Tank gets a lot of criticism for not knocking Lamont out and Lamont not being a big name, so they overblow it?
I think so, yeah, and I feel like people just don't like Tank to a point where any little thing, just because he ain't knock him out, he probably feel as though that he lost and he didn't, or it was a draw. I feel like Tank was doing a lot of smart things in the beginning. I think Tank did a good job. Like, he looked sharp to me, you know. I don't know, people just be talking.
But were you surprised, because I know everybody else was, that Roach could take your power because you were throwing bombs in some of those rounds?
From opening bell, he walked right to Tank Davis, and the brother can fight, and he can take a punch.
And I thought I won. I thought I did enough to get the victory.
Once again, boxing fans, we're bringing you another explosive edition of the Boxing Code.
How do you go and get your eye white in the middle of a round?
What the
just happened?
You said it was gonna go the distance. You said it was gonna be a split decision.
They're not gonna call it a knockdown. He took a knee.
Did Lamont Roach win the fight? Yes.
Every dog has his day.
Before we continue, let me introduce you to Boxing Showtimes. It's a mobile app that gives you access to a complete boxing schedule, full undercards, personalized reminders, daily news, real-time updates, and so much more. Dive deep into fighter records and stats with detailed insights and technical analyses, participate in polls, and share your thoughts with fellow fans. The sleek design adapts to your style day or night. From buying tickets to finding venues, streaming the fights, this app has you covered. This isn't just an app, it's the boxing community you want to join. Download now and thank us later.
A lot of fans didn't like the draw. Did you think it was the right call?
The decision is a majority draw.
Boxing is a sport where styles make fights, where anything can happen in the blink of an eye. But this is one of the biggest reasons we stay hooked on this beautiful sport. Because in boxing, the unexpected can happen at any moment.
That he's got 3 minutes in which to produce an unlikely knockout. But you're right, Ray. It doesn't appear at this moment that Chavez has the stuff to get it done. Unbelievable! Unbelievable! Richard Steele stopped the fight with fewer than 5 seconds to go.
One mistake, one opening, one perfectly timed shot. And just like that, the fight is over. Coming from weeks of explosive action, battles that left us breathless, moments carved into the sport's history, we now stand on the edge of something even greater. A storm of high-stakes matchups looms on the horizon, each fight promising relentless action and drama. But not every fight ends when the final bell rings. One battle, in particular, has left the boxing world in uproar. Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach was supposed to be just another chapter in Tank Davis's dominance.
But I think this is going to be a one-sided affair. I don't think anyone, when it comes to Gervonta Tank Davis, I don't think anyone can mess with him.
Success here for Roach in round 7.
Gervonta Davis is, to say the least, he's a beast. Obviously, Gervonta Davis has the experience. He has that mean streak in him that will take you out with any punch. It's going to be a tough night for Roach.
Not everyone bought into the narrative flooding the media. The idea that Roach was just another carefully selected opponent, a so-called cherry pick for Davis. Some saw something different. They believed Roach brought a new challenge to the table, something unlike what Davis had faced before.
They've spent time in camp together. He's been around Tank. He's seen Tank. That matters. When you know a guy's rhythm, when you know their speed, when you know what they're thinking, that changes everything. Just wait for it. This might be a fight. You think it goes out 12? We'll see. We'll see.
Is Tank Davis the most exciting fighter today?
Yes, he is. He's the most exciting. Tank got that Tyson-esque fast twitchies and the power. The pace he sets, the level of action, the level of bombs that are thrown by Tank.
Gervonta Davis is the most exciting fighter in the entire world. One of the best fighters in the entire world.
It was no surprise that the boxing world expected Gervonta Davis to add Lamont Roach to his growing list of knockouts. After all, his record spoke for itself. A relentless finisher who had only gone to the scorecards once in his entire career. The numbers didn't just suggest dominance, they all but guaranteed it.
Some of the fans feeling like, hey, Tank is so talented, we want to see him against a higher level of competition. Maybe guys, at 140 or the top 35s.
Though Gervonta Davis had attempted to negotiate a fight with Vasily Lomachenko, the Olympic gold medalist had publicly admitted he wasn't available in the short term. Other big names were off the table. Devin Haney was suspended, and Shakur Stevenson had just signed with Matchroom, making that fight unlikely. Roach wasn't the marquee name fans had hoped for. But looking back, with hindsight as our guide, it's clear Lamont Roach was a far better opponent than many had given him credit for.
Do you feel like there's unfair criticism because of Lamont Roach not being as known of a fighter?
People going to do that. That's what fans does. You know what I'm saying? They're going to give up bad criticism. It's going to be a pretty interesting fight. You know what I'm saying? Because Roach he come to fight. I mean, I think it's a great fight. Everybody talking all that stuff about, why Roach? Because he signed and took the fight.
To the people who know Lamont and to the people who know boxing and been around, it's a good fight.
March 1st, shock the world. And the Reaper is in the house.
He can fight. He really can fight. And he is a champion. The problem is, because we always looking for hype. We looking for another so-called big fight. When really, honestly, true, this is a good fight. Lamont Roach knows Tank Davis. Tank Davis knows Lamont Roach.
A lot of people don't know you guys have a long history. Where'd that start at?
We had two amateur fights. We fought twice in the same tournament. We fought in the Junior Olympics, in the regionals, and we fought in the nationals.
Lamont had key factors in his favor overlooked by most boxing fans, yet crucial in determining how this fight would unfold. He had already shared the ring with Tank, felt his rhythm, tasted his power, and perhaps most importantly, endured it. Stepping in as the heavy underdog, Roach entered the fight without the crushing pressure that comes with being the superstar. But there was another advantage, one that few had truly considered. His father had once trained Gervonta.
And I coached Tank to his national championship, man, in 2012. Say I helped contribute to that from those 5-6 days out there, helping him win one of the biggest tournaments of it.
That meant Roach had access to something invaluable, deep insider knowledge of the man standing across from him. Information that, if used wisely, could change everything.
They have a history, they know each other. I think the only thing missing is that flair, as if it was a Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney. They got the flair with him because all the attention been on him for some years. That's for the people who just started watching boxing. But that very thing might make it a better fight. Because Lamont looking at it like, all right, I think I'm a nut. I got you.
That humble pad would be mean, Slim. For sure. That humble pad would be mean, Slim.
I can't. I ain't regular, feel like Jordan wearing 45. Traumatized, victimized, seen some of my die. Knock you off a base with a bat when them niggas slide. Homicide, genocide, televised, emphasize, perpetuating war to that nigga, he gon' pick a side.
When the press conferences arrived, it didn't take long for the tension to ignite. Gervonta wasted no time, promising a fast and explosive knockout.
When they start talking, when the people who I fight, when they start talking, that's when y'all get dumb. I'm gonna beat his ass for y'all talking. For real, so y'all better be quiet. Tell him I'm gonna him up.
On the other side, Roach remained composed, focused, confident in his skills, and ready to prove he could stand with the best.
I'm just here to show up. And when I do show up, I show out, for sure.
Winner ranked in the WBO. Oh, big right.
What do you make of those outside critics doubting you in this fight?
I don't really care too much about the outside critics. I know what I can do in the ring, and that's the only thing that matters, honestly.
I'm saying I'm going in there, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going in there to do something. I'm going in there to win.
I've interviewed a few different Tank opponents, but it just feels like you have a different confidence than most other people. Where do you feel like that comes from?
Lamont is a DMV fighter himself, which means he got that dog.
Lamont Roach wasn't just skilled, he had that dog in him. The kind of grit, hunger, and fire that couldn't be taught.
He's gonna upset the world March 1st. Trust and believe.
Fighters don't get many chances to change their destiny. For Roach, this was one of them. And when everything is on the line, a man fights like his life depends on it.
I think every fighter wants the kind of pressure that Tank Davis is now dealing with. I think every fighter wants to become a star relatively early in his career.
They say that in order to wear the crown, you have to earn it. For Roach, that meant proving he truly belonged in the big leagues, and he wouldn't get a better opportunity than the one presented to him on March 1st. Before the fight, two very different destinies were about to collide. On one side, a fierce, hungry contender, driven by an unyielding desire to ascend to the pinnacle and claim his moment of glory. On the other, a fighter who needs no introduction, renowned for his devastating power. Yet even as he dominated the scene, whispers of a possible retirement began to echo, hinting that his time in the limelight might soon be drawing to a close.
After next year, I'm out of it.
After our second fight.
Larry Merchant used to say, if you're talking about retirement, then functionally you're already retired.
I don't care about belts and I don't care about that stuff. I worry about getting my money and getting out of it.
Man, I've been saying you talk about retirement more and more. Is that like something that you do to get, people talking, or is that really how you feel right now?
Yeah, that's really how I'm feeling right now. Just to work on myself and things like that. Try to better myself as a person, as a dad, all around, human being.
When it comes to beating Davis, it's not about just skill, it's about flawless execution under constant pressure.
I kind of seen Lamont winning. He was in control of the fight. Tank didn't understand or realize how good Lamont was, so he kind of was sleeping on him.
Davis exploding, and Roach meeting fire with fire.
I don't think he expected you to return the kind of five that you returned, because you wobbled him a couple of times.
Lamont Roach actually got stronger moving up 5 pounds to 135 pounds. He was able to take Tank shots without ever really being in any serious trouble.
Nice right hook by Davis, but hey, Roach took her steam.
He got you with some good shots, but you kept staying in the center of the ring with him.
Series of left hands, and now Roach is talking back, okay.
A lot of other fighters don't deal with the power as well. How do you assess his power after being in there for 12?
He got decent power. He got decent power for sure. I ain't gonna say it's exaggerated. I told you I got a chin. I ain't going like that. It's just not gonna happen. I think he felt my power too. I think that's what negated a lot of his shots. And once I took his best shot, I was like, oh yeah, it's time to roll.
Another right hand, another right left by Roach. Exchanging fire with Davis and having success after moments.
There was a moment where it seemed like he was kind of bullying the bully.
Yeah, I was surprised too because Roach is a little bigger than I thought. I didn't think he was going to be able to do what he did. Man, they went toe to toe at times, so it was great.
He was robbed. The knee hitting the canvas should be a knockdown. The face getting wiped should be a DQ.
You take a knee. You need to lose 10-8. That round at least. The corner go up and put a towel in the face. That's disqualification for sure.
A fight that was kind of viewed as an afterthought would now be a gigantic rematch and one of the biggest upsets of the past, 10, 15 years, 16-1 is gigantic.
Definitely an off night for Tank, but Lamont Roach is the guy, man. He showed up. Super close fight. I could have edged it for Tank. Lamont obviously had great rounds and we were wobbled Tank a few times. Roach won the story.
Roach won the story.
Roach won the story. He didn't get the win, but he won the story.
Is Roach about to offer the mother of all upsets?
and then he starts dominating. This time he was just in there with a better man, and he kind of also lost it a little, where, taking the knee. He took a knee! And all that, it was because he was frustrated. There's no other question that's what happened.
The whole everybody not giving me a shot, saying I'm gonna get knocked out, especially when he bet me saying he's gonna stop me. What did I told him himself, I said, you tripping. I said, I don't know what got into your head these last few days. I told him, I said, I know you're not gonna do that.
By the time the final bell rang, opinions were split. Some believed Davis had done enough to secure the victory. Others felt Lamont deserved to be crowned the new champ. And then there were those who saw a razor-thin fight that warranted a draw. No matter where you stand, one thing is certain. An explosive rematch is now upon us. This time, Tank Davis must prove once again why he's a superstar, silencing any doubts lingering from his last performance. On the other hand, Lamont Roach must show that his moment under the lights wasn't just a one-night spectacle, but proof that he belongs among the division's elite. And with that, we wrap up another presentation of the Boxing Code. Hope you enjoyed it, but now we want to hear from you. Who do you think takes the rematch? Does Davis erase all doubts, or will Roach prove he's here to stay? Let us know in the comments.